Okay, so what we're going to do for this video is basically show how we're going to enter the Lewis structure for this particular compound. So first of all, what we do is we just choose the carbon atom, and then we can just start drawing our bonds. So we're just going to start putting the carbons. We'll do this little ring right here. So just put carbon to carbon, another carbon, another carbon, carbon, and then join these carbons. You just have to be careful that you're overlapping. So we get our 5 carbons. Now you don't have to get all your angles perfectly fine. All that really matters is are things connected properly. Okay, so we have this part entered. Now we just want to make this extra little carbon going off this way. And that's all we can do in terms of these carbons. So now I want to add a couple of oxygens. So we have an oxygen over here. So I'll add this. And we want this double bonded, so I'll just hold the mouse over and click. And same thing over here. Add an oxygen and click. And then I'll add another oxygen going this way, and I just have to add that final carbon on the end. Okay, so now we have our skeletal structure, and at this point all we have to do is add the hydrogens. Oh, I did forget. We do have a double bond right here, so I just want to add a double bond there. Okay, so I go here and add my hydrogens. So this gets one hydrogen. This gets another hydrogen. This gets 2 hydrogens. Now this one, if you're wondering, like, does that hydrogen bond to the carbon? Remember, hydrogen is only going to have one bond ever, so it's never going to be on the interior of the structure. It's always going to be coming off. So this hydrogen will be coming off right here. That carbon has nothing, and then this carbon has 3 hydrogens. And then finally what we have to do is we have to include all of our lone pairs of electrons. So to do that, we have these little double dots right here. So we just add our lone pairs. So this oxygen will get 2 lone pairs on it, and this oxygen will get 2 lone pairs, and this oxygen down here will also get 2 lone pairs. Okay, and that should do it. And even though it looks much messier than this nice structure up here, that's perfectly fine because all that matters is as everything connected properly. And as I click submit, yes, everything works out perfectly fine, so we're good. Okay, so here's another problem. This time we're going to be looking at the amino acid glycine, and this one has 2 pKa's. One is for the this hydrogen right here, which has a pKa of 2.34, so that's your acidic hydrogen. And then we have this other acidic hydrogen, which is on the amino group, which is at 9.6. So what we want to do is figure out which form of the glycine, so in other words, it's not going to be this molecule necessarily, that predominates at a very basic pH of 12. So when we have a basic pH of 12, that means that this hydrogen right here is going to be removed because that's your first acidic one. And since, again, your 12 is above the 9.6, this other hydrogen here is going to be removed. So we want to draw what this amino acid will look like under those conditions. So in this case, what we want to do is use our little chain one right here. And actually, even if we don't have any carbon or non-carbon atoms, we can just include this. So first of all will be the nitrogen, and then the carbon, the next carbon, and then an oxygen over here. Now these are all, as you can see, carbons, which we don't necessarily want. So I'm going to go here and click the N for the one on the end. Okay, so now that's the NH2 over here. And then I have, here's my CH2 right there. I have my carbon over here, but now I want to go and change this to an oxygen on the end. And now I need to make this other H2 also an oxygen. So what I have to do here is actually just use the little single bond, and I'll just go off this carbon like so, and attach my oxygen to make this methyl group right here into an oxygen. And then I will make that a double bond. Okay, so this would be glycine in one of its forms. Now let's just write this one up here as it is, like that. So if I want to make it look like this, I click on the positive, the little plus sign here, and then that will be a plus, and yeah, that would actually be this compound as it's written up there, but that's not what we want. Okay, so instead what we want to do is go and remove that. So I think I can just, yeah, click on the negative. That takes one of the hydrogens away. Then I go over here to the oxygen, click this oxygen. That'll make one of the hydrogens go away. And now we have this right here would be the predominant form at a basic pH. So hopefully that should be correct, and it is.